Awesome. Hey, good to see everybody out there in YouTube land and in the world of the Zoom. Imagine 10 years ago if someone would have said, hey, we're going to get on a computer together and look at each other multiple places from different areas of the world. We would have probably said they were crazy, right? It's the crazy people that seem to end up on top over time. And so for those of you that are just learning about the blockchain, you're just learning about cryptocurrency. Now, I was talking to someone today, and I'm like, now I am so excited for the people just getting in now, because you're getting in at incredible prices. It's like everything is on sale, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful time to get in, because you're going to be part of the next run and grow a lot of wealth. So, back in November, I got to meet a gentleman by the name of Peter Gantner, and I first heard about this economy, the Nexus ecosystem. I had no idea what it was, but a good friend of mine, probably someone invited you here, I would imagine, a friend of yours that loves you and cares about you and just wants you to be educated, right? So if you learn about something and you get educated on it, then you can make an educated decision if it's for you or not for you. So today, I'm excited that you get to kind of reach into the 20,000 different projects across the world and hear from somebody who's started some cryptocurrencies some tokens from the ground up, and a gentleman that I think you'll come to believe that you can trust and that you'll like. And, I was on a Zoom like this back in November, and now I'm like all in. And, it's just an exciting time in our history, and I can't wait for you to get to know Peter like I've gotten to know Peter. So, Mr. Gantner, would you tell everyone what the Nexus ecosystem is and why we're here and where we're going?
I sure will. And we're going to keep it short today. We're going to really jump into things. So anytime there's new technology, new things that come out, it's tough on regular everyday people to be able to take advantage and be in the right place at the right time and know the right people. About 6 years ago, I started to think about, community as commerce, right? Getting people together. You have the ability to leverage thought, leverage networks, leverage finances, right? Because, in my studies in wealth, people that have become phenomenally wealthy and the wealth that we've created, it's all been off of leveraging, right? It's not off of just my time. It's being able to partner or hire consultants, right? I'm a huge business out there, right? In the consulting area. Just talked to one the other day, and he goes, oh, shoot. Yeah. He goes, I'm not really that expensive. I'm 20 grand a month with a minimum 12-month contract, right? Like, wow, right? Knowledge is valuable, right? But the problem is most of us, as are not going to pay somebody $20,000 a month just to bestow knowledge on us, right? To be able to do that. We're not in the position or the ability to do that. Maybe we don't go to Harvard. We don't end up being Bill Gates' roommate, right? Or one of the other prestigious, institutions out there, or, we weren't born into wealth and opportunity. So we've got to, kind of go where we're at. And I believe it's in Rich, Think and Grow Rich. If you look at the people that surround you, the 5, closest friends, and you look at their wealth, it's normally in the same area as us, right? We're kind of in that area. So how do we move forward from there? And how do we do it through community? We do it through coming together. Well, there's been this new technology since 2009 that started, and it wasn't really new. It was a guy by the name of Satoshi came together and he said, hey, there's cryptology. There's this idea of a ledger system. And he put it all together to create a new digital currency called Bitcoin. And it was interesting, and it began to grab some traction. But quite a bit of time later, actually, I believe it was 2018, a young kid by the name of Vitalik Buterin said, hey, I think there's more that could be done with this base technology that was built, that's Bitcoin. And he created something called Ethereum. Now, Ethereum allowed for smart contracts, for more complex, more detailed things to come together and be with it. And then a whole bunch of brilliant people out there started to look at this idea of the blockchain and these smart contracts and said, wait a minute, we can change the financial industry with this. We can change shipping. We can change logistics. We can change shipping logistics. We can change titling of homes. We can change the entertainment industry with things like NFTs. And so out of this idea, this concept that started in 2009 has come a technology. And that's mainly what I'm going to hit on today, guys. Crypto and blockchain, there's a lot of confusion out there. People think that somebody sits down and writes some code and they create this cryptocurrency. Where does it value come from? How does it become valuable? Well, cryptocurrency becomes valuable in the same way anything else does. When you provide value, when you solve problems, when you come up with a better way of doing something, you get rewarded for that, right? So Amazon came up with a better way of shopping, utilizing the technology of the internet in order to deliver products to us every single day. And that has created more than $1 trillion worth of wealth in the world, right? And to be honest with you, if you were one of the early adopters and you were involved in the early days, which is a small group of people, right? All of these projects and companies, guys, that have started to this point really start with a very small group of people, whether it was Microsoft or Apple or all of this. The way things work is they're started with very small groups of people, and those small groups become what? Incredibly wealthy. All right. Now with crypto and blockchain, that is changing. And instead of just a small number of people, so let's use Bitcoin as an example. If somebody would have started Bitcoin and said, here's what I'm doing, and kept it to himself, he would have probably held on to a huge portion of it himself. And who knows how wealthy he'd be today, because we don't know if the success would have been the same. But instead, what he did is he said, I need to get this digital currency out to as many people as possible. So I'm going to let them participate in it. Same thing with Ethereum, right? The people that started Ethereum own a very small percentage. Now, that small percentage makes them extremely wealthy. But what they did is they said, anybody who wants to buy Ethereum, you can buy it at 30 cents in Ethereum, right? And we're going to build this network behind it, this ability to do all these cool things. And then really super smart people are going to come along and build this cool stuff that's going to solve problems and create value in the world. And that's what it's going to be. So Nexus is taking advantage of that structure right there, right? We've looked at it, entrepreneur my entire life, love the entrepreneurial journey. It is absolutely my passion. And I believe that entrepreneurship, business opportunities, this idea of collaboration is the most powerful thing that's out there right now to make this a better world that we live in, right? To fix a lot of the problems that we're out there, right? That are out there that we're facing right now. I believe it's a huge solution. And I believe blockchain is the most efficient way for us to be able to accomplish that goal. And cryptocurrency is the representation of the value we build with the blockchain. So utilizing this technology. So we have built trading softwares. We have built a consulting business, which is the True Badger. We have built Safe, things that are solving problems in the marketplace, all that are utility-based projects that solve problems, okay? So now in a traditional business sense, the reason why the Jeff Bezos of the world get to hold on to a big portion of it is they start the company, they go raise some capital, sell off some to do that. And over that course, and they provide a service to it. So it's the team that's running it and the product are the two main factors that determine success. In the crypto blockchain space, there's actually a third element, and it would be normally your customers, right? So Amazon had to go acquire customers, but those customers in the Amazon side of it were what? They were only customers. They didn't have an equity stake. They didn't own a piece of it. They were only getting the benefit of the value that was created. Blockchain changes that. Because of the importance of the community, the early supporters in a blockchain project are so important to it that in essence, through this digital growth and assets, right, the digital side of things, the people that are the early adopters of these projects get to participate in the full benefit of that project. Meaning if somebody said, I'm going to start a blockchain project and we're going to call it Amazon instead of Amazon, and they were going to sell products online, they would have to say, people that want to be our customers, we're going to let you participate in this digital asset in the early days, because that's what you're going to use to do commerce here. And so as Amazon grows and eventually maybe becomes $1 trillion company, The early adopters benefit not just from the service, not just the problem that's being solved, but they actually benefit from the entire ecosystem, the entire part of what is going on. We at Nexus saw that and we said, wait a minute. So if in a normal sense, 90% of the success is the team that's running it and 10% is the product in an Amazon type situation, in crypto, it's more like 50, 60% of the equation is the community you build, 30, 40% is the team, and then less than 10% is the product that you're doing. It needs to be a great product, great team, but really a community of people that understand that if given the chance that this product could solve a huge problem and this team could take it across the finish line and make it into a huge project, that they're willing to support that effort to happen through this community base, whether it's using the product, holding on to the digital asset, and helping in that way, massive wealth could be created. So at Nexus, we saw that and said, wait a minute, why don't we be the group that builds the community of the right people? Then what we could do is, instead of seeing if we get lucky, right? Happen to buy, I was talking to someone the other day, he happened to buy a token, made 300x on his money, right? It was just luck. That's really what it was. And he happened to keep it long enough for it to go all the way through the whole cycle and made an absolute pile of money. But I don't think that most of us feel that we're that lucky, right? That we're just going to happen to buy one token or one project and it's going to take off. So instead of using luck, why don't we use a system, an ecosystem, just like a franchise, just like anything else, that says, let's harness the power of community in order to give us, the whole community, the highest likelihood to find that project that will 10x, 20x, 50x, 1000x, right? There are projects that we know of that have 1,000 times, right? If you put $1 in, you have $1,000 today, right? Or maybe even more than that. There's projects that have done better than that that are in the marketplace. So our goal is to build a community of people. The great part is what does it cost to be part of the community? Nothing, right? At some point, you may say, yeah, I want to get some of I'm going to acquire some cryptos, and True Badger is going to be one of those, or NSI or SAFU5. But there's no monthly fee. There's no part of it. It's simply raising your hand and saying, you know what? I want to be part of, I don't want to miss this time frame, right? Of it. I consider myself, I did okay with the internet, but I feel like I really missed it, right? Like I could have built some fortune, right? I could be one of these people buying a $200 million house in Hawaii or something, right? If I would have focused more on it. So I feel like I missed the bigger part of the internet, and I don't want to miss the next trend that's taking place. And I know a lot of us are that way, right? I mean, at this point where real estate's been up until very recently, I wish in 2008, I just would have said, hey, everybody else just gave up their homes. They got hordes of these things at the bank. Let me just go buy 20 rentals, put some people in them, let them stay in there for the next, what has it been, 14 years, right? 14 years since 2008. Yeah. And now I'll turn and sell these things for, probably houses I could have bought them for 150 grand for $600,000-$700,000 a few months ago. And they would have sold in an hour, right? 2 hours, 3 hours. It just would have been a quick turnaround. But I didn't do that. I'm not, myself personally, I'm not missing the biggest transfer of wealth in human history. The value that the blockchain creates towards solving the major problems that we have today and that we are going to have without the blockchain, future things that are happening, is so clear and so evident to me that I understand and realize that the internet has created a tremendous amount of wealth. So far, in my opinion, blockchain is going to dwarf the wealth that was created for the internet. Now, the way I see it is the internet created that wealth for a small group of people. It's probably millions of people, but it's a small group compared to the 8 billion people on the planet. Blockchain has the potential to create this wealth for hundreds of millions of people, if not more, and improve society as a whole, create more value than the internet has done. It's called Web 3.0. It includes NFTs, the metaverse. It includes better security. It includes platforms where the right to free speech will take place through other mechanisms. It takes from central control to community-based, decentralized control of our own information and our own data. So it goes from somebody controlling my information to me controlling my information and allowing people to do with it what I want them to do and not what they decide to do, right? These are huge issues that are taking place right now. The blockchain is solving that. A lot of stuff, not just here in the US, but around the world that comes to voter fraud and, things when it comes to voting. Guess what? The answer to that, not this next year, but over the next 5, 10, 15 years, the answer to voter integrity is 100% in the hands of the blockchain and where it's going. Identity theft, identity fraud, all of those will be reduced in a blockchain-based world where we'll have way more control over it. This is why I'm excited about it, guys. Not just because we've launched some tokens, not just because I think I can make some quick money, right? Because that's not what I'm about. This is about, there's a technology that is going to change the world more than the internet has. And Chad hit it right out of the park when he got on here. 20 years ago, I'd go to Kinko's, right? And get in a little room and pay $100 an hour, right? To be on video calls when we wanted to do long distance video calls, or I had to travel and go there. Now I can do calls from anywhere there's an internet connection. Think about the short period of time that took place. 22 years ago, if we wanted groceries to our house, we had to go to the grocery store. Now, my wife can go online and within 20 minutes, somebody else goes to Target, walks through the store, picks up our items. We created opportunity, a job for somebody. Our time is more valuable than the savings, right? And they bring it right to our door, right to the house, and it's here in a few hours. My wife's business that she does here from the house, she runs out of something within 3 or 4 hours. Most of the time, Amazon has it at our door. 22 years ago, you wouldn't even have thought that. Somebody going out and getting in their own car and starting up their car and then going and hitting an app and driving and being able to make an extra $200, $300, $400 in a day, $50 driving Uber or Lyft or one of those other services. Think about 22 years ago, if you would have told people, and I know Chad is definitely into this, you're going to buy a house and you're going to rent it out to people by the day, right? And allow for people to stay there. That was unheard of, unthought of, but today it exists because the opportunity of the internet was created. Well, the opportunity of blockchain, cryptocurrency, metaverses, NFTs is going to be bigger than that opportunity has up to this point, and it will create more change and more value for the world than the internet has in the last 22 years. So now what is the real decision is not whether you want to get into crypto and blockchain. The real decision is, how are you going to get into it? Are you going to get into it by yourself and try to learn and figure everything out by yourself? Or are you going to find a community of people with a commitment of helping each other and find the best possible projects, the best possible NFTs, the best entrance into the metaverse space? Are you going to find people that say, you know what, together we can succeed more? Nexus ecosystem is that together we can succeed. We can create more value than we can on our own. And that is really Nexus in a nutshell. Again, we have 3 digital assets out right now: True Badger, NSI, Safufied. Just like the rest of crypto right now, boy, they are at all-time lows in value. But that's an opportunity if you decide you wanted to get involved in those projects. If you look at them, you do your own research and you say, I understand this project. Wow, what's True Badger doing? True Badger is working with Otherverse as a consultant. We're consultants. True Badger is the DAO to Otherverse, helping them through their process of getting their token out there, getting their project up and running and launched in there. And in return, we're receiving digital assets for that. If you go, man, Otherverse is going to be a juggernaut project, then you would have to think that the value that's being created for True Badger is going to what? Increase the value, the holdings of that project. You'd want to say, hey, let me get in and get some True Badger tokens, right? Because it only makes sense along that way. Just like any other project, if you said, hey, wow, I believe, if you were sitting here 7 years ago going, that Elon Musk is a genius and he started this electric car company, let me get some Tesla stock because I believe in what he's doing and I think he's going to build this thing into a global brand, then you would have been in the right place, right time, and done the right thing. It's very similar to that. NSI, another project that we have out there in the marketplace. It's crypto trading software. Well, if you believe in the future of the blockchain and crypto is the representation of that, then crypto is going to be huge. Then there will be people that will want to trade it. And if there's a great piece of software built that allows people to do that in a decentralized fashion, as NSI does, then you would want to say, wow, it's at an all-time low. Let me go and get involved in that project and acquire that asset along the way. And we're developing other projects. I don't have it on my screen. I haven't downloaded the newest screen, but we're doing one with Stardom Chance. It's a project, guys, that I am absolutely thrilled out of my mind to be involved with. I know a lot of people over the years in my life that have tried to break into Hollywood as script writers. They got a great script. With the stuff we've done with Cooler Brands, script after script after script, people bringing books, guys that have sold thousands of copies. As a matter of fact, one of the gentlemen we talked to about it, he's had books, that have sold millions of copies. And it's still difficult for him to get that made into a movie, right? Produced into something, right? These are people that have already had success and to put it and move it in that direction. And Stardom Chance is going to give people like that the best chance possible. Well, we looked at it and said, wow, this is a great concept. And recently we said, look, why don't we use NFTs? Imagine an NFT is a non-fungible token. Don't want to throw anybody off. Essentially, it's digital artwork that has proof of authenticity with it, right? So it's kind of like buying a baseball card or a baseball, and with it comes a collectible, a certificate of authenticity. Okay, with that. The difference is what's happened is these digital collectibles have become more than a digital collectible. They've become your ticket, your pass. So let's say you belong to the country club, right? You have a membership. These NFTs, these digital collectibles, have become a membership into clubs. Well, with Star Babies, the Stardom Chance one, it is going to be the absolute most phenomenal club in the world for anybody who wants to be in movies. Because if you get a certain NFT when you do your purchase, right, and they finally mint and do the reveal, it guarantees you a speaking role in a film if you hold that NFT, or the ability to shadow a director. So you're part of a club, and guess what? They're going to keep adding more and more spots. So those are your initial ones that allow you to do it. But eventually we believe that hundreds, possibly even 1,000 people, by holding these NFTs, will get a speaking role in a film. And for people that want to break into the movie business, that is huge, huge. Okay. Or shadow a director, or get to go to a premiere. I've been to a couple premieres because we've done some licensing. So I went to the premiere of Casper, and when we were doing it at the time, and I told people I was going to a premiere, oh my God, I'd love to go to a premiere. I want to go to a premiere. I've never been invited to a premiere. Well, guess what? Become part of this club, this NFT club with Stardom, and you will get to go to a premiere of a movie, right? These are the types of things. And by the way, guys, these are movies with A-list stars in them. It's not you don't know anybody in these movies. These are movies that, Jessica Alba is one of the people that were in one of the last films that they did. And there's a whole list of other famous people that are in these films. So, and maybe one of the NFTs, having that would get you lunch with that star, right? You'd show up at the studio where they're shooting the film, and you'll get to have lunch with them and sit down and ask them questions and all that stuff. So those are the projects that we've been working on. So guys, I said I was going to keep it short today. Nexus Ecosystem is a community of people that have come together for the common purpose of helping everyday people win in crypto, blockchain, and to have a a way where they don't have to quit their day job and become a full-time analyst and get lucky, right? We want to take luck out of the equation, and we want to put it to where we've built a formula for success. Before franchising came around, there were restaurants, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somebody said, hey, let's put a system in place that will help make restaurants successful. It ain't anymore whether you have the best food, whether you're successful. It's whether you have the best system. McDonald's has proven that, right? The best system for producing and getting that food out there that's consistent across the board. Systems are extremely important. We're building the system for everyday people in the crypto space where we come together and we win together. Chad?
Man, I love this. And I'm just sitting here, Peter, listening to you. And I'm thinking about how even in my lifetime, I'm 48 years old, and I can see how, all these things came along, right? Like cell phones, because when I was a kid, we had a cord attached, and, we'd stretch that sucker out around the corner as far as we could. And then only a few people wanted cell phone. They're like, I don't want to have that on me all day. Now everybody's got a cell phone. And then it went from a cell phone, to computers, to iPhone. So we know now, everybody here should know there's always more tech coming. There's always something else coming. And to me, it's blatantly clear that the metaverse is coming, because it's the evolution of gaming. We went from, you probably played Pong back in the way, Peter, and Pac-Man, Atari, and then we went to the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. Now the other day, my kids have the Oculus. You put that headset on and you feel like, I played this Creed game. I looked down and I had huge biceps, and I was like, wow, look, my biceps grew and it felt real. And people want those things. And we're going to be in the metaverse. 5 years from now, we're not going to buy everything from Facebook ads. We're going to buy everything from seeing it in the metaverse. We're going to be walking around. It's going to show their shirt and have a price tag probably hanging right there. And we're going to be able to click it and buy it right then and there. And it's just going to happen. And so we're positioned now with just True Badger and Otherverse and all these different ideas, these disruptors. And if you just look over the last few years, with Netflix and with Airbnb and with Turo and with all these companies that are disrupting the world as we know it and giving us all a chance to have side hustles, right? To get ahead, because we learned the 40-40-40, or however it was taught to us years ago. It doesn't really pan out that well anymore to work for 40 years and then live off of 40%, what you could barely live off 40 years for in the first place, with inflation and prices and all that. So we need the extra. And here, for everyone watching, this is a great, great way to just invest, and then invite, right? Invest, invite, and include. Invest, invite, and include. Invite your friends and include them in the journey, because trust me, you don't want to be the only one that's got a bunch of money, because then you start to wonder, are these people really my friends? Because they're always trying to reach in your pocket and have you take care of everything. Bring them with you. Get wealthy together. You all go on trips and have a great life. I think we're not here to endure life. We're here to enjoy life. So set yourself up for success. Get involved with True Badger. Get all your questions answered. Tell everybody you love about this deal, and let's just knock it out of the park. So Peter, thank you so much for always coming on here and delivering 110%. Love you. I know we had a few new people on here today, and if you're watching this now, share, if you're on Zoom, you can share the YouTube link. You can go to nexusecosystem.io. You can go to truebadger.io. You can dig in and learn everything you need to learn. And we want to help you win. That's what that's
just engage. Let's all win together, right? Let's all make this happen. And be a part of it. Guys, the participatory economy is coming. And the reason why I've always said community is the commerce of the future, and it's the commerce of today now, is that when the participatory economy comes, it'll be you participate, you get compensated for that, right? But you could participate over here and get compensated $1, or you can participate over here and get compensated $10,000 for the same participation. Those are going to exist. How are you going to find the one that's where your participation is 10,000 versus 1,000? The power of the community you're involved with will determine which one of those two that you're able to get involved with. The power of the community. Because just like anything else, why do people like the Kardashians get paid millions of dollars as influencers? Because they have the biggest audiences, right? So taking that in nature, think about the biggest community that has come together the best will access the most profits, capital, the most benefit from the blockchain, because community is essential in it. And that's what we're building at Nexus. Everybody have a great Father's Day weekend this Sunday. Great job, fathers. We appreciate you.
See ya.